Some encounters are unlike any other. A soul enters your life, and suddenly, everything within you starts to change. Your heart becomes more aware of Allah. Your tongue remembers Him more. Your prayers become more sincere. This is not mere attraction. This is a divine harmony that inspires you to grow, to purify your heart, and to realign your intentions. There are people you meet who don't just speak to you. They awaken something within you. Not your ego, not your desire, but your soul. It's quiet at first. You start praying again. Not because someone told you to, but because something in your heart begins to long for the one who created it. You say, Alhamdulillah, more often. You lower your gaze without being told. You feel this internal shift, like your soul remembering its origin. That kind of connection is not of this world. It's a whisper from the heavens, a divine mercy sent not to complete you, but to remind you that you were always complete when you were close to Allah. Sometimes, you'll meet someone who doesn't just enter your life, they enter your dua. They don't only hold your attention, they hold a mirror to your intentions. They make you question the sincerity of your love, the purity of your desire, and the strength of your faith. And without even realizing it, you begin returning to the Qur'an not for answers about them, but for answers about yourself. As the sacred words remind us, and of His signs is that He created for you from yourselves mates, that you may find tranquility in them, and He placed between you affection and mercy. Surah Ar-Rum 30:21. Notice how Allah doesn't say love first. He says tranquility. Because the one written for you is not always the one who excites your nerves, but the one who calms them. The connection destined by Allah doesn't create noise in your heart. It creates space. Space for prayer, for healing, for worship. It's the kind of bond that doesn't distract from your journey. It walks with you toward the destination. Ask yourself sincerely, since this person entered your life, have you remembered Allah more or less? Have your nights become heavier with prayer or lighter with distraction? Because the one who is written for you will never pull you away from your Lord. They will pull you back toward Him, gently, like a tide guided by His hand. This is not just love. It is a sign. Let me know when you're ready to send the next section. I'll switch the tone and narrative style to keep things fresh and captivating for your audience. Not every love story begins with fireworks. Sometimes it starts with a quiet room, a moment of eye contact, a breath you didn't know you were holding, finally released. They enter your life not like a storm, but like sunrise, slowly, softly, without noise. With them, everything becomes less complicated. You don't feel the urge to impress. You don't need to explain your past, overthink your words, or hide the trembling of your heart. There's no pressure to become someone else, just space to be who you already are. Even when you're sitting in silence, it doesn't feel empty. It feels full, full of presence, full of calm. With them, silence is not awkward. It's sacred. The world may still be loud, deadlines, opinions, family expectations, but their presence muffles the chaos. Their words soothe you, their gaze grounds you. And even in disagreement, there is respect, not rage. Understanding, not ego. There is no need to win, because peace is already the prize. One day you realize, this is what home feels like, not a place, a person, a presence. As the current verse whispers to the soul, indeed the allies of Allah will have no fear, nor will they grieve. Surah Yunus 10:62. This is what they bring you, the absence of fear, the dissolving of anxiety, a safety that isn't loud but lasting, a kind of companionship that feels like Allah saying, here, this is a gift from me to calm you. Because real peace doesn't raise its voice, it doesn't demand, it doesn't compete, it arrives humbly. And when you find someone who brings you that peace, who makes your soul settle, who removes the emotional noise from your life, it might not be a coincidence. It might be divine alignment. In a world that glorifies intensity, sometimes the most powerful love is the quietest one, the one where you sleep better, breathe deeper, smile more, where your nervous system no longer lives in survival mode. This is not ordinary. It's not fiction. It's not fantasy. It's the kind of mercy only Allah can write. And it doesn't shout. It simply stays. And I'll shift to a new tone and structure again to keep the momentum fresh and the viewer engaged. There is a sacred difference between interest and intention. Interest shows up with compliments. Intention shows up with clarity. The one written for you by Allah won't keep you guessing. They won't enjoy your presence while avoiding your future. They will step forward with sincerity. Not because they're perfect, but because their heart is pure and their soul knows its duty. This is not a love that lingers in ambiguity. It's a love that moves with purpose. A love that respects the timeline of your healing and the boundaries of your worth. A love that does not rush you, but doesn't leave you waiting in confusion either. Real commitment is not loud or performative. It is seen in the quiet things, in consistency, in truthfulness, in showing up again and again, even when it's uncomfortable. The one Allah sends for you will protect your dignity before protecting their own desire. They will honor your name, even when you're not around to hear it. As one passage of the Qur'an firmly reminds us, men are the protectors and maintainers of women, because Allah has given one more strength than the other, and because they support them from their means. Surah An-Nisa 4:34. This is not a statement of superiority. It is a declaration of responsibility. A righteous partner doesn't seek power over you. They seek protection with you. They see marriage not as possession, but as a trust given by the Most High, and that trust carries weight. The one who truly values you won't delay what is right out of fear, nor complicate what Allah has made simple. They won't disappear when conversations get deep. They won't flirt with your heart while hiding their plans. They won't manipulate your feelings in the name of not being ready. If they are from Allah, they will stand with you in clarity, with honor, with direction. Because when the heart is sincere, commitment is natural. It isn't a trap. It's a vow of grace. And if someone hesitates to define the bond, they were never sent to protect it. You'll know the strength of a person, not when things are easy, but when life begins to tremble beneath your feet. Everyone loves the sunshine. But who will sit beside you in the storm? Because storms always come. Sometimes through loss, sometimes through doubt, sometimes through situations you never saw coming. The question is not whether life will test your love. The question is who will remain when it does. The one sent by Allah won't disappear when your world starts to shake. They won't tell you to figure it out alone. They won't add weight to your chest when it's already hard to breathe. They will help you carry it. They will hold your hand or your silence, whichever you need more. They will remind you of Allah when your heart forgets. They will fast with you, pray beside you, cry in front of you, not out of weakness but out of faith. Because love isn't proven when everything feels good. It's revealed when nothing does. As the Qur'an reminds with divine clarity, and we will surely test you with something of fear and hunger, and a loss of wealth and lives and fruits. But give glad tidings to those who are patient. Surah Al-Baqarah 2:155. Patience is not simply waiting. Patience is how you behave during the waiting, how you stay loyal when things don't go your way, how you choose mercy instead of blame, how you protect each other's heart when the world seems to fall apart. If someone only wants you at your best, they were never truly yours. But if they stand beside you during breakdowns, doubts, and heartbreaks, if they face the storm with you, not against you, maybe they weren't just written into your life. Maybe they were written into your test and your healing. Love sent by Allah isn't breakable. It doesn't evaporate under pressure. It becomes stronger, purified, rooted. And maybe that's the wisdom behind the struggle, not to destroy what you built, but to reveal what was built on truth. When the winds howl and the rain falls and the world goes quiet, who remains? That's the heart Allah may have chosen to walk with yours. Here is the fully developed Section 5, a flow that feels like divine timing. The tone for this part is calm and luminous, like the soft unfolding of a personal realization or answered prayer. The language is thoughtful, warm, and layered with quiet awe, almost like watching the last moments of a sunset when the world slows down and you realize Allah heard you. Section 5. A flow that feels like divine timing, approx. 400 words. Sometimes the story doesn't begin with a person, it begins with a prayer. A dua whispered in a moment of stillness, maybe when you were tired, maybe after a heartbreak, maybe during sujood when your voice cracked but your heart spoke clearly. You asked for someone, not loud, not dramatic, just real. And then, one day, they appear. Not as a grand entrance, not as a whirlwind, but as something that simply fits. A presence that doesn't confuse you but clarifies you. A conversation that doesn't drain you but nourishes you. A path that doesn't twist in chaos but flows in peace. You don't find yourself fighting for their time, or their affection, or their seriousness. You don't chase closure or beg for consistency, because everything begins to unfold, not because you forced it, but because Allah gently moved the pieces into place. The Qur'an reminds us, and your Lord says, "Call upon me, I will respond to you." Surah Ghafir 40:60. So what if this isn't coincidence? What if the person in your life today is not luck, but a delayed response from the one who never forgets? Allah may answer us in ways we don't recognize until everything begins to align, their values, their timing, their calm. You find yourself saying, "This feels different," because it is. It was never built on fear. It was never born from desperation. It was written long before you were ready. Love that is sent by Allah doesn't enter like noise. It flows like a stream, quiet, purposeful, certain. The kind of love that isn't addicted to drama. That isn't intense, then distant. That isn't here today, gone tomorrow. It's the kind that stays, because it was meant to. And sometimes, you don't realize the beauty of Allah's plan until you're living inside the answer you once begged for. So if the road is peaceful, if the hearts align without force, if the decision brings you closer to Allah and not further from Him, then maybe, just maybe, you're not chasing love. You're walking into what's already been written. O Allah, knower of all hearts, guide those who seek love toward what is pure, truthful, and written by you. Protect their hearts from illusion, and fill their souls with light. Grant them a companion who lifts them, honors them, and helps them walk closer to you. And for those waiting in solitude, grant them patience, strength, and the quiet confidence that your timing is always perfect. Ameen. Bachaish